Good morning, a pleasant good morning to one and all. Welcome to the Monday's episode of Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption and Incompetence. Today is Monday, the 13th day of May 2024. Welcome one and all. And we start to invite you to share the link. Let people know that we're on and we are ready to go. Hope you had a wonderful weekend and that you are looking forward to a productive week. Let me start off by wishing all the mothers, well, I should say belated because yesterday was Mother's Day, and I hope all the mothers had a wonderful day. So yes, welcome to this Monday's episode. My colleague, Mr. Conway, is already in the studio ready to impart valuable information, ready to teach. And we are going to be teaching once again today. So welcome, one and all. Share the live. As we say when you come on, give us a thumbs up to let us know that you appreciate what you're doing. We are pleased with all the comments and the number of students who are sitting in the schoolyard. This morning, we had, when we went live, just 7:30, and immediately students were in the schoolyard waiting, immediately in the large numbers. They didn't beat the Wednesday last, we had a record number of students in the schoolyard and on the live. And I wish to thank you and congratulate you all for that. I suspect that the numbers that we have this morning might very well be a record or close to the record for a Monday morning. So welcome. And we are going to go, the usual format, as I say. We do the little pep talk, the icebreaker, as they would call it in teaching. Then we're going to do the roll call. We're going to make the announcements, and we're going to go into the issues that we have to talk about this morning. And when I gave the notice to the program today, I told you that we're going to talk about this another rape allegation against Nigel Darl, the former minister. And we're going to talk about that. And I also said we're going to talk about the continuing road carnage on the road. That was yesterday. Yesterday morning, I posted that. And I tell you all, me I know, man. But Saturday, I think since I posted that notice yesterday morning, it came to attention that there was a fatal accident. I think Saturday morning early. And then this morning, as I speak to you, there's a big smash up on the Linden-Soosdijk Highway. I think it's Low Creek or Long Creek, one of those creeks. And they're saying that 2 confirmed dead up to when I saw it a few minutes ago. So that is what we have. And we're going to talk about the road carnage too. I am not sure, however, that we will get enough time to go into it in any great details today. But I'm telling you, that is what is going on in Guyana. Another rape allegation against Darl. Continued road carnage. This is almost every day you're having these issues on the roads. And as I said, I hope we get time to go into that today in great detail. If not, we're going to deal with it on Wednesday. So yes. Share the live. Let people know that we are on and we are going to be with you for the next hour or so. And once again, welcome. Let me encourage you to subscribe to the channel on YouTube and to go to the Facebook page and like the page. If you are a subscriber to the channel on YouTube, you would have gotten notification yesterday that we posted, I think, 4 short clips about issues that we discussed during last week. The short clips are excerpts of issues that we discuss on a particular program. And we know some people might find it difficult to sit down for 2 hours or so to watch. So we do some short clips, 50 minutes, 20 minutes, even shorter than that in some occasions. And yesterday, 4 of those, I think it was 4, were posted. And again, when you subscribe to the channel on YouTube, you have to also hit the notification button. That is how you're going to get the notification when these short clips or other things are posted on the channel. And again, just for your information, if you go to YouTube and you type in the name, Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption and Incompetence, it will come up and then you can do your thing. If you go to Facebook, same thing, you type in Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption and Incompetence, it comes up and then you can like the page, you follow the page, you're going to get the notifications. Whenever there's any activity on the page, you are going to get the notification. So yes, continue to share, continue to subscribe, and we are going to continue to bring you the information. As I've said, my colleague is already in the studio, ready and waiting to go. We're going to do the roll call, and then we're going to make the announcements. I indicated that we scheduled the program about what time? It would have been just after 7:30 this morning. And as soon as it was scheduled, the first man in was J.K. J.K., congrats, you make number one this morning. Followed by Kenneth. Kenneth came in next. Then Floyd. And then our student from the UK, Lynette Fraser, she came in very early, 7:39. Followed by Derek. Another UK student, Orin, came in next. Then we had Carter, 9430, my squad mate. Winston from California was in very early. He was followed by Evelyn. And then, after Evelyn, we had Raul, my Redmar friend, Ascali. Then Sean came next. It's the one and only Sean from New York. Then Debbie was in class. Next, she's from Providence on the east bank of Demerara. Followed by Felicia. Then after Felicia, we had Clive. Clive is also from the UK. So the UK is well represented this morning, followed by Princess from Lamar Springs. Then we have Dexter. After Dexter, we have Brian. And after Brian, Saul, there's Courtney Saul. The two Sauls are in one after the other. Then we have Tessa High from Orlando, Florida. Evangelina came next. Patricia came in next. And Patricia, again, condolences to you, my dear, on the passing of your dear father. I know you were not in class on Wednesday because you were attending the funeral in the UK. Excuses were made on your behalf. Then we have Cecile came next. And then John, followed by Maureen. Then we have Magnell Barrow. Several Barrows are in class today. Malcolm came next. Then we have Clifton Ramotar is here. And he says, thank always for your porosity, objectivity, and frankness. We'll continue to be frank. We'll continue to be frank and truthful. Then the next Barrow, Gary, is here. And then we have from the UK again, Wayne Liddell is here from the UK. Then we have Delta 9 Media. Says New York City and Schoolyard. He's from New York City, says Schoolyard. And then we have the Rastaman came next, followed by Barbara, followed by the one and only BX, my countryman, Charles Goodman, followed by Fergus Kamabaj. He was followed by Jean. And after Jean, we had Ian Lucius came in. Then we have my next squad mate, Doreen from Canada. Then the original black man is in the house, followed by Anthony, followed by Joan, followed by Clifton. And Clifton is all the way from Paris. Camille Barrow, another Barrow, this is the third Barrow, is here. And then we have Bert, followed by Anthony Bradshaw, the man from Peters Hall on the East Bank, ex-member, 11032 Sergeant Bradshaw. Earl Abrams is in the house, followed by Aubrey Pantlis from Canada, Mr. Conway Squaddy. Aubrey would normally tell us, or he told us that his number, regulation police number was 9053. Then we have Denise, followed by Ulrich. Ulrich is sending happy belated Mother's Day greetings to all the mothers. I would wish to join him in that. Then we have Grace. Then Emerson is from Midtown, Manhattan. Then we have Nigel, followed by Patricia. And Patricia says she's watching from Philadelphia, Philly in the house. Malcolm, old police Malcolm. Then we have Barlet, the man from the hills in Linden, followed by Bonita from West Coast Bobbies. Colin from Queens, New York. Francis from Melanie Damashan on the East Coast. Francis was in town when he came in first. Then he went back home in time for the program. Then we have Anne. We have Glaston. After Anne is Gaston. And Gaston is from Canada. And he says here, please be replaced. PI should be replaced with a grand jury. Well, I know what he's referring to. We're going to talk about that the next time. Then we have 9795, Mr. Young, Terrence. He's also from Canada. Then we have Walterine from New Jersey. And we have next Monica from Friendship on the East Coast of Demerara. Mary Smith from Brooklyn, New York. And then we have Carlisle. Then we have Duan, followed by Sandra. Then after Sandra came Sheena, Clarence, Roy from Schenectady, upstate New York. Wayne is here. Then we have Ulrich. Ulrich is from Barbados. Jacko from Georgia. Then we have, look at this, Tia, Ben, 1, 2, 3. And immediately following, we have L. Ben. L. Ben. The Bens are represented. The other one might not be here to make a comment, but I know he get his feedback. He gets a report on what was discussed on this program. Then an Action UK student, Winston, is here, followed by Denise, the secretary. And Denise, as we know, she is going through a painful period. Her mother died and is to be buried on the 20th in Guyana. There was last Wednesday, there was the service in Brooklyn, and the funeral is to take place in Guyana on the 20th of this month. Then we have out of Texas, and Everett, let me tell you, man. He said, well, look what he's saying here. Good morning, esteemed friends or friend. I've noticed that Mitchell Caesar's name is hardly ever mentioned by you, sir. Every week I just mentioned it, man. Up to last week, I mentioned when I referred to that Bokta story. Every week I mentioned it, Everett. You got to watch it, Everett. Then Heather is here. She's awaiting. Speaking Truth to Power came next. Then we have Mr. G. And Mr. G is saying that he's waiting for schoolyard for all the advanced class. He said, I'm the same Gordon from Grove. And he's here now, Mr. G. Then we have an ex-man from these bank, Vibert. Then after Vibert, we have the man from Arizona. My squad mate is in the house, followed by Rhonda, followed by Shetred. And Shetred is saying, what Dharamlal is stink finger man and all of that, what he's saying. Followed by Pamela from the west side. Then we have Keelan, Carville, another squad mate. Maxwell Beaton, 11704. Maxwell Beaton is in the house. Then we have Family Music, followed by Orin, followed by Gordon, Old Police 6659 from Canada, followed by Keith. Keith is from Barbados. Welcome, Bim in the house. Ezzy is here next. Then we had Michael Richardson is in the house. Glendis. Then Smithy. Smithy confirmed his number 7464. Last week, I had made a mistake with the number. Mr. Conway mentioned the right number, but he's making sure we know what the number is. Followed by Louis. Next good detective, next good retired detective. And then we have a next old police here, Leon Gibbons, followed by Winston Collins. And Winston is waiting for the information from the professors. He was followed by Orville, followed by Marcus, followed by Junior, followed by Melissa, followed by Gary, then Kerry, then Vibert. And we have from BV George Calder is here. And he says that he's always been on, but he had a difficulty with his phone, and that is why perhaps he wasn't even able to make comments. But he has now changed the instrument. Followed by the one and only Cello, Rich Forever Cello. Then we have Vibert, then Tallulah, Colleen, and Marlin, Ronald. Then we have Linda, I think it is. It's a water Linda, I think it's Linda. Then we have Courtney, Queenie, and then, as I say, Keith came back in. And then we have here Stefan Lewis, 12443 was his number, followed by Fort Valley, followed by Terrence, followed by Errol, followed by Shemlin, Trevor. And then when we went live at 11, and again, I said to you, all those persons were sitting there waiting for the program to commence. We were in the schoolyard, and once the school door was open, then the first on Facebook was Edward, followed by Karen, followed by Joy Prince, Lynette from Barbados, Carlton. Then we have Ray, and the list goes on and on. You know, over the weeks, I always promise that I'll get back to the roll call, but we get so engrossed in the program that I really don't remember to go into the roll call. So you got an idea as to the number of students who are just sitting, waiting patiently for us to comment. And, you know, I don't think we have ever disappointed you, and we don't intend to, because in the intervening days, we do the research to bring the information to your attention. Now, in terms of announcement, I spoke about that accident. I saw the videos and I can't show them. Those things are so gruesome. Maybe Wednesday we do some editing and we're going to show you the videos of an accident on the Linden Suicide Highway this morning. This morning. Report is 2 persons have died and others are seriously injured. I saw several video clippings of that. So condolences to the family of the deceased person. And I think it is time, it is long past time that we as a people in Guyana make noise over this ongoing carnage on the road. Right, we ourselves have to be safe and to take certain things into consideration, but the government is primarily responsible for ensuring that systems, that there's a revamping of the system. I'm going to go into that if I get time later today, or I promise you by Wednesday I am going to deal with that again, because we have dealt with it before, and people are there, the Home Affairs Minister, the acting commissioner, the crime chief, all of them. They just sit there and then they're twiddling their thumbs. They don't know what to do. And we have made suggestions on this program as to what they should do. We're going to address that. So again, condolences to the families, friends, relatives of those deceased persons. I understand, by the way, that one of the deceased person is a popular teacher from Linden. A popular teacher from Linden is one of the persons who died this morning in that terrible smash up on the Linden Suicide Highway. I don't have the details as yet, but I'm going to continue to follow that. And on the brighter side, we did say belated Mother's Day greetings to all, and I'm wearing my pink shirt. I'm wearing in honor and recognition of all the mothers out there who do such a fantastic job. Sometimes your efforts go unrecognized, but you are as we say, the salt of the earth. Without mothers, I don't know, none of us would be here. So yes, and then as I say, on the happier side, I want to wish retired Assistant Commissioner George Vivos, who is celebrating a birthday today. All the best, my brother George. All the best to you. Long life, prosperity, health, strength. And having said that, what is the next announcement? I don't think I have any. Somebody bring in Mr. Conway, and then we are going to move on. Mr. Conway, welcome. Hope you had a wonderful weekend and you're looking forward to a productive week.
Yes, a wonderful weekend. Yesterday, I spent some quality time with my wife, my daughter, and my grandchildren. I'm happy to be in the land of the living. Belated uh, greetings to the mothers. And then I don't want to left out a special set of persons. To all those men who by accident or design cause women to become mothers, I want to really congratulate you and wish you well also.
Yeah, we can't leave. Well, the Father's Day coming. Somebody said yesterday, I found a very humorous post. They said yesterday was Mother's Day. And they went on to say, for those who are pretending to be mothers, your day is April 1, All Fool's Day. So again, that's what was a post I saw yesterday, said that yesterday, the 12th of May, was Mother's Day. And for all those who are pretending to be mothers, your real day is April 1st, better known or also known as All Fool's Day. So wait until your day comes. It is not far from now. And in moving on, let me say this. Today, well, we did announce on Thursday that the teachers had planned to resume strike on last Thursday. We understand that they did go on strike, but they intend to have slippers on the ground from today. Slippers on the ground from today. And I said before on this program, and I'm saying that the teachers deserve to get more than what they are being given. They deserve to be recognized for their sterling contribution to society, and it is a real terrible thing that the government decided they're going to treat the teachers in the manner that they are treating them. Teachers have been demanding collective bargaining as prescribed in the Constitution and the labor laws and all this everything. Government has not been doing it. There have been impositions. People went to court. All the teachers union went to court and won. And yet still, despite that, the government dancing. I saw briefly, I think it was yesterday, that the Ministry of Education is now, or the Ministry of Labor is at this last moment after the teachers decided they're going to go on strike. They are trying to now intervene to bring some closure to this matter. But you've gone beyond that, because the matter went to court and all, and the government has held on that they are not discussing any retroactive pay increase. I think the teachers are demanding that the discussions for collective bargain should start from 2019 or sometime around then. But the government is insisting that the only discussion they're going to have is in relation to 2024. I believe that is unreasonable. Unreasonable, right? So they are to go back on the streets today, and all of us, whether we are teachers, whether we are parents, whatever we are, should give full support to the teachers who, as I said before, deserve what they are asking for. At least the people say, let me sit down and talk. Let's sit and talk. And they're not doing that. And what did the president do? He called a few teachers, selected some, and then took them to State House. And the court, Justice Kisu, made it clear that that cannot be considered collective bargaining. The teachers have a union, the Guyana Teachers Union. And anything relating to the teachers, especially when it comes to salaries, remuneration, and those conditions, whether it's duty-free, you have to involve the union. You have to involve the union. So let's see where it's going to go. I'm going to monitor social media, and I am fully supportive, and I call on you all, call on us all to support the teachers in their just quest to have proper remuneration. Just quest. Mr. CC, let me hear your views on this teacher thing that's they're supposed to go back on the street today.
Like you, I agree that the teachers got to be treated in a better way in terms financially and otherwise. They have a just cause, and if it calls for boots on the ground to solve the situation, let there be boots on the ground and in large numbers. That they must have proper negotiations, proper discussion. The law calls for that. So I'm fully in support of the teachers.
Yeah, we all should be. We are now just support. I'm not talking here about just being on the computer and liking posts and all of that. Those people who are in the areas where these teachers are coming out, you should come out and support those teachers. You should provide them with refreshment. You should provide them with their needs for them to come. You know, the teachers are the ones who mold the future leaders of the society, and to see that they're being treated in this callous and disrespectful manner by this government is really, really sad. So, yes, teachers, you deserve more than you're being given, and you should continue. And I hope that you would have learned from the last strike that you had. You came out and you decided to go back out to school, and you took the matter to court, or you would have seen that going back out and going to court apparently has not moved the authorities. So I would hope and I would wish that you remain out until such time that the things that you're asking for, the conditions are met. That's all I would say. Hope you learned from the last strike that you had. You decided that you were going to return for whatever reason. I don't know all the reasons. You went to court, you won the matter in court, and yet still you're at a stage where you have to go back out and strike. And therefore, I would think that this time you will make sure that before you turn back out to the schools, that your demands, your just demands are met. Your just demands are met. Right? And in the era of compromise, I know perhaps everything you want you will not get. That is how this life goes. But at least the government should sit. And when we talk about sit, we are not talking about putting people to sit with the teachers who can't make decisions. The first man, they sent Saddam Hussein, he had to go back to get caught. No, you don't want that. You want to sit with decision makers so that firm decisions can be arrived at there and then. Because I remember very well when you sat with Saddam Hussein and they agreed that the discussions will go back to 2019. Then they said no such discussions were held, and the teachers union have to present the minutes signed by the same people to show yes, this was part of the discussion. So hope you learn from that. Hope you learn from that. But let me move on. Now I saw some pictures over the weekend. Some disgusting pictures over the weekend. And I'm going to show you these pictures, and then I'm going to have my say about it. And I'll invite my colleague, Mr. Conway, to also obviously. I ain't going to give no narration first. I'm going to just show you the pictures. And when I finish showing you the pictures, then I'm going to make my comments about how I think, what I feel about these pictures. Now, here goes. Right, so let me tell you what you're seeing there, just in case you don't recognize what you're seeing. What you're seeing there, folks, is the president of Guyana, Mohamed Irfan Ali, feeding the soldiers, senior ranks, the most senior members of the Guyana police force. Because we see people there, colonels, lieutenant colonels, those are the ranks that I recognize. He's feeding them cake. I understand it's cake. With his bare hands, he's taking his piece of cake with his bare hands and putting it in the mouth of the high command of the Guyana Defense Force. I find this thing so disgusting. I find it so unhygienic, so disgusting. The president, and from the information I've gathered, I just do my little research. From the information I gathered, I think they're saying that the president had a board here recently, and that he might have been presented with this cake by the high command of the GDF. So he decided he's going to feed them. He's going to give them part of the cake. Nothing wrong with giving them part of the cake if a cake is presented to you. But I would have thought that the decent and hygienic thing to do was to make sure you got a fork or something like that. Here it is, the president with his bare fingers. Let me show it again. Bare fingers. Nobody know where he had been before. No one knows where his hands were before. He is taking his bare fingers with his cake. They got it in a plate there, not even a proper platter and all that. Classless. And he's putting it into the mouth of these senior persons in the army. And nobody really, look, right? You see this rank here? This is a lieutenant colonel. I'm not sure what rank this is. That lieutenant colonel. This man is in civilian clothes. I'm not sure what rank it is. I know this GDF officer. I'm not sure what rank he has now. But that is what we are seeing. That is what. This here is another senior officer. This one here, he got on with the skull. They might call this thing the Solara. So the fact that he has on the Solara means that he's at least the rank of a colonel in the army. And that is what is going on. That is what is going on. The president, with his bare fingers, as you can see, and they're all smiles. They are all smiles. And he's putting the cake into the mouth of these senior ranks of the Guyana police force. And then one wonders why people have lost respect and all of that for the police force. The Guyana Defense Force and the uniform institutions. It's things like these. You go to this function, and let's say the president decided, all right, he can give you a piece of cake. Somebody can get a good sense to say, well, sorry, you should take a fork. Take a fork and take the cake, your bare fingers, and they're smiling. They are smiling. And the man putting his fingers in the mouth with cake on it. This thing, as I said, this thing is so disgusting. Disgusting. Why not a fork? I have some note here. And I observed in the picture there that I just show you, the pictures that I saw you, that cake is not being put in the chief of staff mouth, Omar Khan, or chief of defense staff as he's referred to now. Nobody am putting no cake in his mouth. But look at the people whose mouth. Let me show it one more time. Look at the people whose mouth cake is being put into. Well, look what's going on there. Look, look for yourself. Look for yourself. And then I like these things. People make all sort of comments and so on. And this thing here feeds into this narrative. Certain sections of the social media, certain sections of the community, they refer to, and I'm going to say it, because it's there. They call certain people hungry belly black people, hungry belly black man, to be exact. Hungry belly black man. Now, when you see a president putting cake in the mouth of the senior members of the GDF, I would think that fits into that narrative. That fits into that. And sad that these people don't see these things. Again, I say to you, this is your commander-in-chief. You went there to present a cake. And the decision was taken that we're going to cut this cake and we're going to think. Yeah, and they say, somebody ought to have had the good sense to say, well, look, you have to use a fork. Somebody ought to have the good sense to say that you should be using a fork, not your bare fingers. And take it a little further. The president himself should understand that you can't take your fingers with cake and putting it in people's mouth, whether they're senior members of the GDF or otherwise. You cannot be doing that unless it's your little son or your little daughter or something like that. You can't be putting your bare fingers into the mouth of grown men. Who can put them finger in? Anybody putting cake in my mouth with their bare fingers, got to be my wife. So you have these things going on, bare fingers, and nobody can tell the president. That we take it that the president didn't know, because it obviously he didn't know. Because if he had known, he would not have done that. Oh man, somebody can't say they must get some fork around there. They must get some fork around the place. And you know what? Some ex-members of the GDF are telling me. They say that this is unprecedented. That is what they're saying. And we're talking about a cake being presented to the commander-in-chief on his birthday. They said it's a police thing, not the hierarchy of the GDF. GDF has never done before. That is what is being reported. Police will do that. They go and they present cake. The police band will go and they play and all of that. They say it don't happen in the army. It has never happened before in the army. But you got a case now where they not only presented the president with the cake, but the president decided he can take his fingers and put it in the mouth and feed them. Let me bring in Mr. Conway to say what he has to say about this. Mr. Conway, what are your views and what I consider to be a most disturbing act? What are your views, my brother?
I saw it, and it was shocking. I want to refer to the hand-to-mouth situation. Real shocking. Here is the president using his fingers, as I said, we didn't even know where he had been, and putting it into the mouths of those senior officers. And we ain't seen no picture of him putting it in the mouth of the chief of staff from Markand. And there's a one set of people, one set of people he put in it, and then when you look at it, ordinary plate. I mean, it's a president's board anniversary, no real platter. They don't have any kind of standard. It's just really. It can be embarrassing. It's really shattering that he's going to take his fingers from wherever he come from and put it in the mouth. And apparently they appear to be enjoying it. And let me branch off and tell you a little story that I observed. I think it was in 1992 when Jagan became president. We had a dinner for him at the police officers' mess. And part of the meal was roti and curry. And I gave the president knife and fork to eat the roti and curry. And there he was struggling with the knife and fork. And after a while, he put away the knife and fork and he started to tear the roti and eat the chicken roti and curry. He used his fingers. And when he finished, he licked his fingers, and that was what the end of it. But we can't get a president using his fingers and putting things in people's mouth. Use a fork if you got to do it. And I don't see the need for him to put in cake in people's mouth. Give them the cake. Maybe if you give them on a platter or if you give them in a box, although I won't go down to the box level, and let them themselves, by their own volition, decide when they're going to eat and how much they're going to eat. It is unheard of, and it should not be encouraged. That should be the first and the last time something like that happened, Paul.
I agree. I agree. Look, I put up a comment here from one of the students, and I agree with him. He's saying that we're missing the most important point. The soldiers had to eat the cake first in case it was poisoned and all of that. And that doesn't change what we're saying. There's nothing wrong with eating the cake. Eating the cake is not the issue, but it's in the manner the president is using his bare fingers. And that is why we say that if you don't trust the soldiers, they bring a cake to you, you believe they might poison it, and therefore you're taking no chance. So they got to eat first. Then put it on a plate, put it on a saucer or something like that. Cut it, put it on a saucer, give them a little fork, and let them eat the cake so that you can see that they're not attempting to do you any harm. That is the way. But the main issue, Lawrence, is the fact that the man is using his fingers to put it in the mouth. That is the offensive part to me. Obviously, it is not offensive to them, but it is offensive to me. I spent 37 years in the police force, many of the years in very senior command, and them things that never happen. Never happened. And I know some older members of the GDF, that could have never happened. Because even if the president attempted to do so, they would have advised him that it is not the appropriate thing. And what people are missing too is that this thing wasn't done in public. It was not done in public. So they had people taking out photographs, and then they chose to release those photographs on social media and other places. They chose to release those photographs. It's not a case where you're up on the road in the public and somebody pass with a phone and take out a picture and post it on social media. No, this is photograph taken wherever, some official place, and that is what they do. They put it on the social media, perhaps to embarrass the soldiers, perhaps to embarrass the president. So we have to go into this thing very, very carefully. It is a disgrace. It is a disgraceful act, I say. It is a disgrace. It is shameful. Perhaps those persons there don't have shame. And I hope that they will reflect and they will realize that what they did or what they were made to do is wrong. It is wrong. It gives the wrong impression to the members of the public. It gives the wrong impression to your soldiers who you command. Can't be doing that. President taking fingers and putting it in your mouth with cake. Disgraceful lot, you senior members of the Guyana Defense Force. You should hang your heads in shame. You should hang your heads in shame for doing that. Let me move on. See, I saw, and this is a matter I should have dealt with on Wednesday, but time ran out. And you know, these students, we have brilliant students. Last week when I started, and I told the students what occurred with me in court, I made a comment that I had some reservation. I was telling them that, look, they appeared and the matter is now set for June 25th, 27th, and 28th for trial before the acting chief magistrate. And I said last week that I would have told you about a reservation that I had. And I did not mention it. And the reason why I did not mention it, and it's not making an excuse, the reason why I didn't mention it, because I did not go into the substantive issue, right? So I'm going to deal with that now. And I'm going to be able to tell you now what reservation that I have, not that I still have. Now, I refer here now to a statement by the Judicial Service Commission of Guyana. Last week, the Judicial Service Commission made a release, and I'm going to read the release. I don't think it's all that long, and then I'm going to go into it. It says, for immediate release, and this was, I think, around the 7th or something like that. The Judicial Service Commission has noted with grave concern an article published in the Guyana Times newspaper. No, matter of fact, I have it here to show you. I don't know if you're going to be able to read it, but I'm going to read what is it. If you can read, you will follow with me. Let me start over. The Judicial Service Commission has noted with grave concern an article published in the Guyana Times newspaper on the 25th of April, 2024, on which bore the caption, Chief Magistrate among 10 recommended as puisne judges. The Judicial Service Commission readily acknowledges that newspapers are in the business of disseminating news. It is, however, with the information conveyed to the Guyana Times by, quote, a reliable source, unquote, that the Judicial Service Commission experiences is disgust and disquiet and disgust. The Guyana Times, by its candid disclosure that the information in the published article was based on what was provided to it by a, quote, a reliable source, unquote, indisputably conveyed to its readers the unofficial nature of the information it received from this reliable source. The Commission has interviewed a number of persons seeking to be appointed as judges of the High Court with consequential deliberations thereon. A number of processes are to follow, including a referral to the eventual recommendation of the Commission to His Excellency, the President. The Commission has not yet given any official press release in connection with its present role on judicial appointments to any media house, considering that it would be precipitate to do so. This marks the second occasion that the present Commission is faced with the unofficial and unauthorized divulgence of information related to its work, such a circumstance being hitherto unknown. The Judicial Service Commission is left in no doubt that the Guyana Times reliable source lacks any ethical disposition and has treated the Commission with grave disrespect and contempt. The Commission therefore seizes on the moment to condemn in the harshest way possible the role of the Guyana Times reliable source, and to urge caution by Guyana Times and other entities similarly inclined. The Commission also urges that only official releases from the Commission should be published. The Judicial Service Commission wishes to assure all media sources that it remains open to queries and to provide responses on its constitutional functions. That is the release from the Judicial Service Commission. But why find that? And they're referring to an article published in the Guyana Times on the 25th of April. I'm not going to go back into it, but they get a name, Chief Magistrate among 10 recommended as puisne judges. Well, you know what I find disturbing? And I'm not well, let me tell you, the Judicial Service Commission call out the Guyana Times. I'm not here to represent the Guyana Times. I am not here to represent the Guyana Times, which is a mouthpiece of the ruling PPP government. I'm not here to represent them. But I find it strange that the Judicial Service Commission will call out Guyana Times when the Attorney General, Anil Nandalal, SC, MP, did the same thing. And let me go on April the 30th. On April the 30th at 7:01 p.m. on Issues in the News. This is a program hosted by the Attorney General on NCN. I think it's on Tuesday nights. And hear what he said on that night. So on the 25th, Guyana Times carried this news item, quite inappropriate, I believe. That's some reliable source gave it to them. And they called them. But on the 30th, Anil Nandalal, the Attorney General, and I'm going to quote him here now, on Issues in the News. It says, Issues in the News, the Honorable Attorney General Anil Nandalal, SCMP, said, and quote, the JSC recommended these appointments to be made by His Excellency the President. These persons will be appointed and will be sworn in as judges shortly. The names are one High Court judge from the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, but Guyanese, Madam Justice Jacqueline Josiah Graham. Commissioners of Title Nicola Pierre and Priscilla Chandan Anif. Magistrate Shardel Isaacs Marcus, Peter Yu, Zamila Ali Sipasad. Head GRA Legal Department and Deputy Commissioner of the GRA, Ehsan Yassin. GRA Deputy Commissioner Inland Revenue and International Taxation Lawyer Joy Prasad. Deputy Solicitor General Deborah Kumar, and Secretary and Deputy CEO of the Guyana of GWI, Nigel Niles. These are the 10 persons who will assume the post of High Court judges shortly. End of quote. That is Anil Nandalal. So the JSC, Judicial Service Commission, I have to find out. I need to know why you're going to call out the Guyana Times. And again, I say I'm not representing the Guyana Times, but you did not call out the Attorney General. You call out Guyana Times, but you call out Attorney General. And this release was made to the public after, quite logically, after the article by Guyana Times and after the broadcast by the Attorney General and NCN. So wait, tell me you did not see that? If you're going to call out Guyana Times, why did you not call out the Attorney General at the same time? And let me go some more to tell you, the Judicial Service Commission, because I did the research, the Judicial Service Commission is comprised of, they have 3 ex officio members of the Judicial Service Commission. And ex officio means by virtue of their office. So the Chancellor or the acting Chancellor, Madam Janet Cummins Edwards, she is a member of the Judicial Service Commission. The other person, ex officio, acting Chief Justice Roxanne George Wiltshire. And the third ex officio person, again I say by virtue of the office, is the chairman of the Public Service Commission, Maniram Prasad. The other 2 members of the Judicial Service Commission are former acting Chancellor of the Judiciary, Carl Singh, and retired Justice Bisraj Singh, Bisraj Singh Roy, B.S. Roy. So those are the 5 members of the Judicial Service Commission. And again, doing the research, this is the article I'm reading here from Sabruk News, July the 15th, 2023. And in one paragraph, it says, the Judicial Service Commission's remit includes the power to make appointments, to remove and to exercise disciplinary control over persons holding or acting within the offices of Commissioners of Title, Director of Public Prosecutions, Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions, Magistrate, Registrar of the High Court, Deputy Registrar of the High Court, Registrar of the Deeds, and Deputy Registrar of Deeds, among others. Now, when I read that, I was taken aback because, to be truthful, I never realized that the Judicial Service Commission, among its remits, is to make appointment and to remove persons in those offices, especially I did not know that about the DPP. So, as a good teacher, I did my research, and yes, I found it in Article 199 of the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. So the question I want to ask is, why have we not, well, I don't know, what is the process for action to be taken against the DPP? I don't know how this thing is initiated. If somebody got to make a complaint to the Judicial Service Commission, some lawyer, maybe someone of the lawyers can advise me, because I think it's time that the conduct of the current DPP, Shalimar Aliat SC, be brought to the attention formally of the Judicial Service Commission, because it says under Article 199 that they have the remit to disciplinary control over persons holding or acting within the offices of many, including the Director of Public Prosecutions and the Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions. That was a revelation to me, and I did the research, and I found the Article 199. So I don't know how you initiate the process, but I'm saying that the time has come. The time has come for something to be done about the DPP. We're going to talk more about that as we go on. Let me bring in Mr. Conway to talk. And Mr. Conway, again, I don't want them to label me as presumptuous, right? I'm not going to attack the Judicial Service Commission. I'm not going to attack the judges, but I'm saying that if you are going to call out Guyana Times, I'm not representing Guyana Times, for leaking this information. The Attorney General did likewise. The Guyana Times did it on the 25th of April, and the Attorney General did it on the 30th of April, right? On national television. So why not call out? And your release is about a week later. Why not call out both at the same time? Do you have any answer to that, my wise brother?
If we're gonna label you presumptuous, you got a right to be presumptuous, But there's animal farm at play. All men are equal. but some are more equal than others. Here it is that you're calling out the times, and here it is the Attorney General making the statement, releasing the same information. And it's not the first time. Remember the CCJ, I had to call him out, that they brought disrepute to the CCJ by releasing a decision of the CCJ before the time. And then he like Shaggy, it was me. He said, and as his unnamed IT administrator release it. His unnamed IT administrator release it. But coming to the point with the Constitution, I myself did not think that, although I read the Constitution. But here it is what I got. Is Article 199 1 say the power to make appointments to the offices to which the article applies, and to remove and to exercise disciplinary control over persons holding and acting in such office shall vest with the Judicial Service Commission. And here's what three saying. The article applies to the office of the Commissioner of Title, Magistrate, Director of Public Prosecutions, Deputy Director of Public Prosecution, Registrar of the High Court, Deputy Registrar of the High Court, Registrar of Deeds, Deputy Registrar of Deeds, and to such other offices, not being offices in respect of which provisions for the making of appointments is made by any provision of the Constitution other than Article 201, connected with the courts of Guyana, or for appointment of which legal qualifications are required as may be prescribed by Parliament. And unlike you, Paul, I'm not certain what would you have to do to trigger action against the DPP. But it's high time that the DPP must come into focus, that the DPP has been making many decisions which, to my mind, they are political and has no legal base. Time that we put the DPP before the Judicial Service Commission. And I'm going back to the point I make earlier. Yes, the times can be called out, but the Attorney General can be called out for making a release that was not clear by the Judicial Service Commission. Animal Farm, all men are equal, but some are more equal than others.
Again, it shows that again, I said the Judicial Service Commission is made up of what I consider some very reputable persons. Let me repeat who those persons on the Judicial Service Commission are: the acting Chancellor, the acting Chief Justice, the Chairman of the Public Service Commission, former Chancellor of the acting Chancellor, Mr. Carlson, and former Appeal Court Judge B.S. Singh Roy. And I'm saying, if this, well, let me make it clear that given the process outlined, where the Judicial Service Commission would interview those persons, and then they're saying that the recommendation will be sent to the president, it means, therefore, we can't blame the Judicial Service Commission for the leak. We cannot, because they would have sent it on to the president, and therefore it could have been leaked from there too. But what I am disappointed in the Judicial Service Commission about is, in that release that I read earlier, they did not also call out the Attorney General, and therefore it gives the impression that the Judicial Service Commission is giving preference, is favoring the Attorney General. That is the impression that I got. So the Judicial Services could have said at the same time, Guyana Times and the Attorney General, because I would have thought that 5 days after Guyana Times made this release, this unofficial release, that by then the Judicial Service Commission or whoever is making this release on behalf of the Judicial Service Commission would have had that information, or should have had that information, and therefore make a release including all of those. And before I forget again this week, I talk about the reservation I had, and in respect to my case, and that is what basically it is, because in this release, it says that the acting chief magistrate is tipped to be one of the new judges And according to what the Attorney General says, that these appointments are to be made shortly. That is what he said. Let me read back. Let me see what he said. These appointments are to be made shortly. That is what he said. He said here, the Judicial Service Commission recommended these appointments to be made by His Excellency the President. These persons will be appointed and will be sworn in as judges shortly. He said that on the 30th of April. And the reservation that I have is that if the acting chief magistrate before whom I'm supposed to appear for this trial on the 25th, 27th, and the 28th of June, if she is sworn in as a judge before then, in keeping with what the Attorney General said, it means that I go up and hold me, lose me again. It means that some other magistrate will have to be assigned to try this case. And that is the reservation. It wasn't anything to be disrespectful or anything like that. It's just to say, and again, you know, as a man who not talk about management and planning, from the time I saw that, I started to calculate, because if this appointment is made between now and the 25th of June, it means that we are back to square one, where the matters have to be now reassigned to some magistrate. So it's kicking down the road all the time. So the persons who reached out to me after the program on Wednesday to say I did not disclose what the reservation is about, it is that. Nothing disrespectful or so, but it's just some logical thinking, and they say intelligent anticipation. Because as the Attorney General disclosed on NCN on the night of the 30th of April, these appointments to the judges are to be made shortly. Well, we are no way shortly, you know, because remember on New Year's Day, the president has said that he will meet shortly with members of the public. But I'm not sure the shortly is the word he used, but he gave the impression that he was to meet soon to discuss the traffic carnage. And I'm not aware that any such meeting has taken place 5 months or more down the road. So that is the reservation that I had. But again, let me say, you know, in terms of the release to the Guyana Times, I made a note here. Guyana Times is a government mouthpiece, like news room. I got to pause because there is newsroom and there is news source. There is newsroom, which is another mouthpiece of the government, and there is news source. News source is Garden Mosley is news source, very reliable news outlet. So don't get mixed up with news source and newsroom. Newsroom is another mouthpiece that they feed a lot of information to. Do you recall sometime last year with the Mars killing? Newsroom was able to play the confession video that the suspect in the Mars killing gave. Newsroom. The confession video. This man, the police claim, made a confession which was video recorded. And Newsroom got that video recording to show. And when Newsroom ran the article, they made a statement to say that the wife of the suspect gave a statement to the police which they saw, and it contradicted what she was saying publicly on social media. So that is what we have. That is what we have. No professionalism in these bodies. No professionalism. So obviously somebody leaked the thing to Guyana Times, because Guyana Times is a mouthpiece. They leak also from time to time to Newsroom, and that is what we have. And when I'm telling you these things, you can go back and check. The Mars killing, video recorded, confession statement is given to Newsroom. A statement by the man's wife. This is with our evidence here in the murder case, you know, given to the man's wife, and the Newsroom can tell us, the public, that they saw the statement, and the statement contradicts what she has been saying publicly. Oh, what more you want? What more you want to hear? So that's what we're saying. And again, I said to you, don't get mixed up in Newsroom and news source. Newsroom is the mouthpiece. News source is my view, that news source, I said over and over, that when you come to these releases, from the time I see something from news source or Travis Chase, it's credible to me. I will read it and I will look at it. But some of the other rags that give releases and so on, I don't even bother with it. I don't even bother with it from most of the times. Most of the times, I don't bother. So yeah, they are given this release. They have given the release in the SORMAR's thing. So let me just tell you about that. Mr. Conway, do you want to say anything more about this issue?
Yeah, because I know you want your day in court, and you may wait in because the offense, alleged offense, this took place over 2 years ago. Over 2 years ago, you were charged, and I know you want to have your day in court, and you're not going to do like others. You're not going to rush to the DPP for the DPP null pros your matter. You're not going to take no null pros. You want persons to go in court and testify and go under rigorous cross-examination, as the case may be. That you want your day in court, and it appears though it's going to be delayed, and you're not going to take no null pros, Paul.
Well, at the end of the day, I agree. You know me well, my brother. At the end of the day, I know whatever time it takes, I am anxiously awaiting to clear my name. And you said 2 years, not 2 years, almost 3. The charges were instituted on the 19th day of May 2021. The offenses are alleged to have occurred in 2019, right? So it's the 19th of day. I remember these things very, very well, right? 19th day of May, those 3 charges were instituted. And on to now, almost 3 years down the road, you can't get to no trial. And I say this. They say justice delayed is justice denied. And not only denied to me, let me be very clear and frank and professional about this. Not to me, but the person who is making the allegation would want to have their day too. I would think so. That the person who is making the allegation would want to have our day so that the matter is ventilated in court. I want to have my day too so that I can claim my name. So we talk about justice delayed is justice denied. Should be for both parties, and the public is a public component of this as well. So yes, that is what it is. Again, to those persons who reached out to me immediately following the program last Wednesday, I thank you for reminding me, because once you did so, immediately I made a note to say I can't allow this to pass. So if you felt that I wanted to be presumptuous and to say anything inappropriate about the process and the persons involved, no, that was not my intention. It's just to say that the fact that the Attorney General has said on his program that the acting chief magistrate before whom this matter is scheduled for trial on the 25th of June is likely to be appointed shortly as a High Court judge. My concern is that if that is done before the trial, it means it's going to be a further delay because some other magistrate would have to be assigned. I guess whoever is the new acting chief magistrate or confirmed chief magistrate will have to decide who is going to try the matter and when. That was my concern. That still is my concern. Let me move on. As said in the notification, we have a case again. Dharamlal in the news again. Nigel Dharamlal is in the news again. For those of you who perhaps did not see the press conference or would not have had the opportunity to read what was reported again, this is last Friday. A young lady by the name of Sarah Hack, or Hack, always is spelled. It's spelled H-A-K-H. Hack, I think it is. She had a press conference, virtual press conference, and she read a statement. I got a copy of the statement. She read the statement accusing Nigel Dharamlal, yeah, that same Nigel Dharamlal, the former minister of local government, who was not so long ago accused of raping and grooming a 16-year-old indigenous girl. You remember the story where the DPP suddenly decided that there is no charge. And let me just walk you through quickly. The allegation was made, the girl was kept. The girl was kept in torturous conditions, right? Denied access to her parents, denied access to a lawyer, no communication with the outside world, as we would say. And then a file went to the DPP Then the DPP sent back the file to the police for some clarification. I don't know what they needed to clarify, because if you read the Sexual Offences Act, it is clear. Once that allegation was made, and the thing that was sufficient to institute the charge, but she sent it back. And then we learned from the police that the girl, the victim, says that she does not want the matter to proceed any further. And the police reported that the DPP said that based on that, the fact that the girl, a 16-year-old girl, decided that it was in our best interest for the matter not to proceed, that there should be no charge. You remember that? Remember that issue? All right, so they're gone. Nigel Darmlal resigned. He resigned. President said well, can't remember how the thing goes, but President said he was sent on administrative leave. A minister, imagine a minister, he's not a public servant, but he sent an administrative leave during the course of the thing. And then afterwards, he resigned his post as Minister of Local Government. Resigned his post over that incident. Now, this young lady is making an allegation that he raped her on 2 occasions. She outlined it. She outlined it. She said, and of course, she outlined what took place. And the details were, what we say, very revealing. Oral sex and all of that. He performed on her. And she outlined the thing clearly. She outlined it clearly. And the minister, former minister, Nigel Darmlal, who is a bigwig in the PPP party, because this news conference on Friday was covered by among other entities, CNN, that international news network, and they have a story on it. CNN covered it, right? Nigel Darmlal came out, I think the same day or the next day, and he said the former minister accused Hack of launching a campaign to tarnish his reputation through social media leaks, through social media, leaks to the traditional media, and a whisper campaign, and question what has reignited our attempts to harm his reputation, particularly at this time. That is what he said in the release. He goes on to say Darmlal noted that he has instructed his attorneys to review Hack's statement with a view to taking legal action against her and others involved in spreading falsehood. Now, I gotta go through this thing, man. See, I'm bringing you just now, but I gotta go into this thing. The lady claimed that he raped her in the guest house at Anna Regina. She went there, she for some job interview. He invited her to go there, job interview. I know since when interviews are done at the State House, but she went there. She was duped into going there. She described the whole location in the statement. Some other body was there having dinner. All of that all of that she described what took place. Then she described a second incident somewhere on the East Coast or something like that. Again, she claimed that he raped her. I noted too in the statement she issued, I think the newspaper carried that, she said that when this matter was brought to the attention of Priya Manikchand said what he did to her was not rape. We can go into all of this. This is teaching. She said that is not rape. So basically the girl said that he had oral sex with her and he used his finger to penetrate her and so on. And people saying that is not rape. But we got to go into this morning. But what amused, not only amazed, but it amused me that Nigel Darmlal, a man who get all this baggage, the matter with the school, the girl, the 16-year-old girl, and other matters. Remember he had story with Gun, with the man from UNDP or something somewhere there. He had all of these other matters. And Nigel Darmlal say that she's launching a campaign to tarnish his reputation through social media. This thing is this one, he says, is tarnishing his reputation through social media. And he go on to say, he noted that he has instructed his attorney to review Hack's statement with a view to taking legal action against her and others involved in spreading falsehood against him. Now, the first question, and I got to make a note, the first question that came to mind, this allegation is now made, and let me say, I think the timing, she said, let me get it to you. The first incident she claims occurred in 2020 and the second incident in 2021. That is what she's saying. Huh? That 2020, 2021. These incidents occurred. So I made a note here because he's threatening legal action in this case. But we would note that following the allegation by the 16-year-old indigenous girl, which caused him to be arrested, placed on $1 million bail, and forced to resign, he ain't threatened no legal action in that matter. Why? Why? So I go through the thing and, you make the observations and you dissect the whole thing. So something wrong. So he's threatening legal action in this one, but the one that caused him to be arrested, the one that caused him to be put on $1 million bail, and the one that caused him to resign as a minister, he ain't threatened legal action. He has not taken legal action in that one. I know the time ain't done. He has enough time, I think, a year or 3 years, what it is, to file such a proceedings against the girl. So let me wait and see what will happen. I have here, before I bring you Mr. Conway, I made a note. Let me check my note. I made some notes on this thing, right? And I say that based on what has been revealed again about Nigel Darl by this young lady, and I note again, I did the research. This is a brilliant young lady. Y'all go back in the record and check that when she did her, I think it was CXC, 16 subjects, one of the top performers on the Essequibo Coast at the time. And our presentation, that she had no dunce. Our presentation, that this woman is not a dunce. And there are several things. I said here, let me wait and see now. Let's wait and see what will be the action of the police and the Director of Public Prosecutions. And before I bring in Mr. Conway, let me read to you, my students, a press release from the Guyana Press Association this morning. As they say, hot off the press, not so long ago. It says a statement by the Guyana Press Association. The Guyana Press Association is concerned about the lack of response from the Guyana Police Force to media queries relating to an alleged sexual assault and cyberbullying made against a former Minister of Government and Member of Parliament. The Darl is talking about. Based on public statements via a press conference held by a named woman, reports were made to the police in the week of May 6th to May 10th. On Friday, May 10th, a query was made by a journalist via the Joint Services Press WhatsApp group, was acknowledged by Mark Ramatar, the head of the Corporate Communication PR arm of the Guyana Police Force. It has been 3 days since queries by numerous journalists remains unanswered by the police. The questions have been asked in a medium that includes the hierarchy of the Guyana Police Force, including Commissioner of Police Acting Clifton Ikin, and several government ministers, including Home Affairs Minister Robeson and Public Affairs Minister Kwame McCoy. Inquiries have also been made directly to the Crime Chief, Assistant Commissioner Weldon Blanham, and Deputy Commissioner Calvin Brutus. Among the queries from the media are whether the police at Covan John Police Station received a report about an alleged rape implicating a former Minister of Government, Nigel Darl, whether the police can confirm it received a report about alleged cyberbullying. Can the police say what action has since been taken? Has the former minister been invited for questioning? The lack of response to these queries raises serious questions about the police's willingness and ability not only investigate itself, but politicians of any sitting party in government. The lack of engagement on this and many other issues has led the GPA to conclude that public trust, being a critical component of law enforcement, has been dealt a severe blow. It does appear that the Guyana Police Force is being heavily influenced politically rather than professionally. That is a release from the Guyana Press Association this morning, Monday the 13th day of May 2024. Let me bring you Mr. Khan. May have more to say on this, but I can't take all the batting. When the bowling sweet, you have to be conscious and allow the other batsman to score some runs as well. So, Mr. Conway, I now invite you, and don't do like Robman Powell, you know. Robman Powell, the West Indies T20 captain, was in the last ball, bowled by Bhuvi Kumar. He needed to get a single for what they call it, a super over, or if he get two, he win the game. And he did for the first 5 ball, he did excellent in the thing. The last ball, the man got a full toss. He got a low, he missed the full toss and get out LBW. So please, Mr. Conway, don't miss this full toss and get LBW. Now you may carry on with your batting, sir.
Well, I'm happy you're not giving me any last ball, you know. You're giving me several balls to play with, you know. And the whole thing is about rape. And I remember Prem Manichan having rape in Parliament, you know. But let's look at the Sexual Offences Act, number 7 of 2010, which was signed by President Jagdeo on the 24th of May 2010. And let's look at the elements of rape. What really is rape? Section 3(1) of the Sexual Offences Act. It says a person, open bracket, the accused, close bracket, commits the offense of rape if A, the accused, 1, engage in sexual penetration with another person, and in bracket they put the complainant, or 2, causes the complainant to engage in sexual penetration with a third person. B, the complainant does not consent to the penetration. And C, the accused does not reasonably believe that the complainant consents. 2, Section 7 and 8 relates to presumptions about the consent applied to an offense under the section. And 3, a person who commits the offense of rape is liable on conviction on indictment to imprisonment for life. And let me tell you, put it another way, what is rape? Rape, and listen to me carefully, rape is forceful, unlawful, carnal knowledge. Forceful, unlawful, carnal knowledge, where we use force or threats or by fraud, or I'm talking about threats where even you might raise up a dirty pillow and pull out a 9mm or pull out a Glock. Unlawful is where the person, the victim, does not consent. And carnal knowledge is where we're talking about entry, where penetration. Unlawful, where the woman or the victim can decide, hey, that they're gonna have sexual intercourse with you. And in the midst of it, you doing it, the person says, stop. If the person stop, that means the person withdraw consent. And if you continue, it is penetration. Well, let me deal with what is penetration according to this act. Very interesting. Section 2H. So penetration means any intrusion, however slight, and for whatever short time, of any part of a person's body or any object into the vagina or anus of another person, and any contact, however slight or for whatever short time, between the mouth of one person and the genitals or anus of another, including but not limited to sexual intercourse, cunnilingus, fellatio, annual inter, anal intercourse, and female to female genital contact. And where the penetration is by penis, the emission of seminal fluid is not necessary to prove penetration. Penetration is a continuous act from entry to withdrawal. So It doesn't necessarily have to be that you use male, that you use the penis. You could use any instrument, and it includes also female genital contact. So the thing is that the points to note is that you use force, or people say by fraud, or threaten the person, and the person does not consent, and there's penetration, whether you use whether you use the the penis, or you use any instrument, or vagina to vagina, or any instrument they use. And Damla is famous, one of the instruments is famous, that the word used in Parliament, dildo. If you use a dildo, it is rape. So no, lack of consent, penetration, and the female, or the victim does not consent. So that is what they talk about rape. And that is in a nutshell rape. Forceful, unlawful, carnal knowledge. That's rape. Forceful, unlawful, carnal knowledge. And listen to that woman in our press conference. All those things were present. And remember, this is only an allegation that she made. But all those things, the elements of rape, as I understand it, or 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 there in the allegation that she made.
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that. It's an allegation against Zamla. It's an allegation, and one would expect that when an allegation is made, a proper investigation, a proper and credible investigation would be done. Because as it is, even though it doesn't apply in Ghana to everyone, there's a constitutional presumption of innocence. And the fact that an allegation has been made against Darl doesn't mean that he's guilty of anything. Let me understand. Let's make that lucid. It's an allegation against Darl. And allegations, any allegation, should be properly investigated by the armed and there's the police. And there lies the problem. Because when one looks at what took place with the previous incident referenced earlier in this program, and the manner, the preferential way in which Damlal was treated, one is left to wonder what will happen. Because given the press release from the Guyana Press Association this morning, it seems that some people comment here that the cover-up has started. Because why can you not say whether a report was made or not? There is not anything to deny. The lady said she made a report. She went to CID headquarters. They turned her away. They said they don't take investigations there. She ended up at Covan John Police Station, where she claimed a report was made. Why can the police hierarchy confirm to the media that indeed a report was made, and what is the nature of the report, and what action they have taken, if any, at that stage, 3 days down the road? This thing has hit international news. CNN had a story on it. And the acting commissioner, the extended squatter, the crime chief, and they said in the press association, Deputy Commissioner Brutus. There's no Deputy Commissioner Brutus. So GPA, when you get these things, I have always said, y'all are a little lazy. You must find out and you must make this release as accurately as possible. Brutus is an assistant commissioner of police. But then you put Deputy Commissioner Brutus. So they're going to say there's no such person. They are going to say that there is no such person. And what Mr. Conway said about rape, and I was about to say I was amazed when the woman claimed that Priya Manikchan, who is a lawyer, by the way, said that based on what was revealed is not rape. And Mr. Conway outlined it. Let me repeat. Somebody is saying here now, thank you, student. A student is now saying that the crime chief a short while ago acknowledged that a report was made and it is being investigated. That is what one of the students, thank you, Winston, is saying, that a short while ago, the crime chief acknowledged that a report was made by this woman, and I guess I'm sure he's referring to the report against Nigel Ramlal, and it is being investigated. That is what it is saying here now. But let me go on in terms of the rape, and to clarify, because and we need to make, according to the act that Mr. Sexual Offences Act, there's a clear distinction between rape and sexual assault. So understand that. They have definition. Why is a rape? Why is sexual assault? There's a clear distinction. Now, they say rape is the sexual penetration of the vagina. And I'm saying this to some questions that have been asked in the comments. Rape is the sexual penetration of the vagina, the anus, or mouth by one person by a penis or other body part or object of another person without their consent. So once is you penetrate the vagina, the anus, or the mouth by a penis or an object. That is what they say, or the penis or a body part. So the allegation is Darl penetrated the young lady with his finger. That is rape according to the legal definition. The other body part or object of another person without their consent. And then it goes on to say, a person can also be charged for rape if they force two or more persons to have sex against their will, where sexual penetration of the vagina, anus, or mouth takes place with a penis or body part or object. So let me get it clear. And then when we talk about penetration, just to clarify what Mr. Kami said, they said no, penetration means placing any part of the person's body or an object into the vagina or anus or of another person, and any contact between the mouth of one person and the genital or anus of another, however slight, that is penetration. And based on the complaint by this young lady, penetration did take place of the vagina, the anus, and she claimed that. So it's good to see that the police saying that they can investigate, but I don't know, given the fact that people generally believe that the police, let me understand, they are politically controlled and they are not credible, and given the track record how they dealt with the first allegation, I'm not sure how this is going to be dealt with. Because let me tell you this, from the time, if you are going to do a proper investigation, you want to some credibility, from the time the lady went on the social media and she made the press release, she gave this the statement press conference on Friday. I think it was 1 o'clock or 1:30, something like that. From the time that thing finished, a statement should have been, well, let me back up. For the time the report was made at Covanjan Police Station, statement should have been taken from her. Statement should have been taken from her from then. Nigel Ramlal should have been arrested based on the statement. And note the sequence. You can't run to arrest without you get statement. You got to get the statement. The statement must show that at least some offense is alleged to have occurred, and Nigel Ramlal should have been arrested the same day the report was made to the police, same day. But no arrest was made. The media is complaining that we are asking them since the 10th, and this morning they have to issue a press release to say no response. And the minister, well, I don't expect a response from the minister. Or if he says something, it's going to be something nonsensical. I don't expect a response from the extended squatter, because he too, like the minister, don't say anything that makes sense, right? So I don't expect anything from them. But I would expect that at least the crime chief would have acknowledged before now, immediately. They say he's in the group, he's in this WhatsApp group. What is wrong with him responding immediately? Say, yes, a report has been made and we're investigating. Full stop. I'm not at liberty to disclose anything further at this stage. That is all it required. And that is how these people continue to lose credibility and lose the trust of the public, because the default mode is to deny and to deflect and to go into this cocoon to say, well, look, yeah, we know, and we're going to find out. That is the issue. That is a problem that they have. That is a problem. But let me go on with the same thing. Y'all talk about Ramlal. You know, I said, Darl is a bigwig in the PPP. Think he has the sixth highest vote following the Congress last weekend. And you know what PPP stands for now? Based on all of this, we're talking about pedophiles, perverts, and predators. That is PPP. We're talking about pedophiles. We're talking about perverts. We're talking about predators. And the C, you could guess what the C is for. Corruption. So it's pedophiles, perverts, predators, and corruption, PPPC. That is what it stands for. Because remember, Nigel Lal might be the most infamous one, but they've had others in the party, others in the PPP party against whom serious allegations have been made. Against whom serious allegation. Remember a man named Alistair Charlie? Alistair Charlie was a member of PPP, member of parliament. PPP member of parliament, Alistair Charlie. He was charged with interfering with some little boy, 16-year-old boy in the Rupununi area. I get the article somewhere. I'll tell you all let's do the research. Right? Let me let me give you a little snippet of the thing. You know, and if you want, I know you are not intellectually challenged, and this is Tabrook News on January the 8th, 2020. It says former People's Progressive Party civic parliamentarian Alistair Charlie was released on bail yesterday after he was charged with sexually assaulting a 16-year-old boy and trying to bribe the youth's grandmother to drop the criminal complaint. Charlie was represented by attorney, we're going to call the attorney name now, but the attorney had close contact with some people in the hierarchy of the Guyana Police Force. He appeared before Princeton Magistrate in the Georgetown Magistrate Court, where the charge was read at an in-camera hearing. The first charge alleges that Charlie, on July 31st and August 1st, at Lethem, sexually assaulted a 16-year-old boy. The second charge alleges that on August 5th, 2019, at Lethem, while being under investigation, he attempted to pervert the course of justice by offering the alleged victim's grandmother $500,000 to drop the charge. He denied the charges, and after they were read to him, and he was granted the bail in the sum of $200,000. That's Charlie, PPP member of parliament, was accused. And again, we said accused. We ain't saying we said he was accused. I haven't followed up to find out what the outcome of the matter, but he was accused, not a PPP man. And then they had, let me say, you remember, an ex-PPP man, an allegation was also made against the current minister, Kwame McCoy. You remember the allegation? I say allegation was made against him. He had denied the allegation that he was propositioned as a teenage boy for sex. That was it. Remember Julius? Y'all remember Julius? Right? Oh, Julius, the thing just like when you do it to a woman, you ain't got to freak to Julius. Yeah, we got Calypso with that. I listened to that tape several times. In fairness to Mr. McCoy, I don't know if he's going to take objections to me referring to him as Mr., but in fairness to McCoy, he denied the allegation and he claimed that the voice on the recording was not his. He said the voice was not his voice. Again, I don't know what became of that. What I do know is that shortly after that allegation, it was said that at the time it was Jagdio who was president, it was said that he was placed on the Rights of Child Commission. There was a big uproar over that. A man, well, a person who is alleged to have propositioned a 16-year-old for sex, a 16-year-old male, right, was put on the Rights of the Child Commission. That is what they said. That is what was reported. And then you had, who can forget Ganga Prasad, not a PPP man. Again, allegation was made against him, which forced him to resign. He was holding the same office, the Darl local government. The claim, the allegation was he had a sexual affair with some teenager. A smiling, because when the allegation was made, then they jump and deny. And Clement Roy, who was the general secretary of the People's Progressive Party at the time when Donald Ramata was the president, was questioned about the Ganga Prasad thing. And then he said, Clement Roy is reported to have said that the president asked him to resign. He had denied. Ganga Prasad had resigned. And after that, the man get big position. The man get position from the Public Service Commission and all them places. Ganga Prasad, who is claimed to have, they alleged had a sexual relationship with a teenager. They even say the little teenager got pregnant and all them type of thing. So he's not alone. And then, comrade, I'll tell you how, they got the next one, a PPP candidate under probe for alleged sexual molestation of a teen. This is back in 2020. The father of Tushan Eastbank Esekibo is mourning, or a father of Tushan Eastbank Esekibo is mourning the death of his 13-year-old daughter, who allegedly took her own life on Saturday, believing to be as a result of suffering she felt over being sexually assaulted by a family pundit who is said to be a candidate of the People's Progressive Party Civic. This is 2020, February 24, 2020. They said the regional commander said that while the pundit is out on bail for the reported sexual assault, which was first reported on February the 17th, there are no current plans to bring him back in light of the child's death. However, the police will be investigating to ascertain if there's a link between the girl's death and the PPPC candidate. That is what 2020, right? And then, well, the father could hardly speak on Sunday as he sat in his chair at the family's home, watched over by relatives who fear for his health, as he grieved the death of his third child. What the father said, however, was that he wanted justice for his child. She was a quiet individual, easygoing, he shared. Then they get a next one here now again. I can tell you all, because they sit on Thursdays and other days and they spew a lot of crap and they get all the as I say, the pedophiles, the perverts, and the predators with the corruption among them. They're there among them, right? Then they get PPP dogged by alleged predators. That is the same article, 24th of February 2020. I think this might be Chronicle, I'm not sure. PPP dogged by alleged predators. Since last year, several leading lights of the PPP have been accused of sexual molestation. One of them, also a candidate in next week's election, Alistair Charlie, is currently before the courts on a charge of rape. Back in January, Charlie, the PPP top representative in Region 9, was charged with sexual assault and perverting the course of justice. Charlie is a former member of parliament of the PPP and Central Committee member. Then they say, the Guyana Police Force had launched an investigation into an alleged case of attempted rape by Charlie back in August last year. It had alleged that the PPP member attempted to rape a 16-year-old boy in Letem, Region 9. The incident came to the fore through a Facebook post made by the mother of the boy. And the quoting her saying, I'm disturbed by the video that I saw this morning of my son being taken advantage. The distraught mother had written on social media page at the time and proceeded to name the accused. The incident reportedly occurred in Letem. According to reports, the teenager, after attending a children's party at Charlie's residence, was allegedly lured to a nearby bar and was given alcohol-laced ecstasy. He was reportedly videotaped with his pants and his underwear down and genitals exposed. The accused reportedly had his genitals out at the time, not only in the presence of the minor, but other persons who were seen laughing. A man known to the family of the minor was passing the bar at the time and reportedly intervened and started recording the incident. After he was shunned by those present, the victim was subsequently taken to his grandmother's residence. Let me go to the next one. Region 1. Additionally, back in March last year, the Child Care Protection Agency, CPA, had launched an investigation into an alleged case of rape of a 22-year young man by PPP Regional 1 official Brentnell Ashley. In an exclusive interview with the Guyana Chronicle, the 22-year-old, despite his speech impediment, detailed how he allegedly was taken to Georgetown from Mabaruma, and lured into a hotel, bullied into sex, and left stranded, allegedly by the Regional 1 regional chairman. Ashley is in a separate interview with the newspaper, refuted all allegations leveled against him. In the interview, the 22-year-old told this newspaper that Ashley, who is a friend to the family, would oftentimes assist his mother financially. According to the young man, Ashley, following a discussion with his mother, agreed to take him to Georgetown for medical attention. Periodically, the young man would experience fits of seizure, and Ashley offered to help. So again, I say it's not a one-off thing. I mean, Darmlal might be the most infamous, but there are several others. And I did some research to find out some others. You remember the Muslim cleric who raped a whole set of little boys and so on, and the DPP dance and dance and dance? I will tell you all about that on Wednesday. I will tell you about that on Wednesday. I'm going to tell you about that on Wednesday. Let me bring you Mr. Conway if you want to see anything more about this, with these pedophiles, the predators, and the perverts in corruption. That is what PPP stands for. Go ahead, Mr. Conway.
I wouldn't be surprised, if in this present Dharamlal allegation against Dharamlal that attempts will be made to pervert the course of justice. Remember, the other one where the commander of Region 2, where the offenses alleged committed, took a 13-line statement from the female reporting. We took 3 hours and 35 minutes to take a 13-line statement from the girl. That all they're doing, they're trying to pervert the course of justice. We haven't heard anything. I understand from the woman's statement, she went to Sparendam first. Sparendam sent her to CID headquarters, and CID headquarters sent her to Covanjan. So I'm certain, and let me be presumptuous enough and say that I wouldn't be surprised if they attempt to pervert the course of justice. And a couple days ago, I was reading an article from Reuters where it's a former Fiji PM sentenced to a year in jail. And part of the article said the former military chief who came to power in a coup in 2006 and later was democratic election at democratic in won democratic elections in 2014 and 2018. And here the story was he was found guilty this month by the High Court of attempting to pervert the course of justice while he was Prime Minister by telling the then police commissioner not to investigate allegation of graft at the Regents University of South Pacific, court documents show. So all those men, all those police officers who taken instructions to pervert the course of justice, not to take action against politicians, let them be careful because things might very well turn back against them. I remember Floyd McDonald was commissioner of police at the Dispatch Service Commission investigation inquiry when they got judged under rigorous cross-examination and asked about the illegal instructions that he passed on to the commissioner of police, including one to upgrade the weapon of a known killer, Axel Williams, and the minister said Commissioner McDonald should have been guided by the Constitution and his conscience. So let them be aware that all of them who taken action, illegal action, coming from government officials not to take any action and attempting to pervert the course of justice, the day will be coming. The day will be coming. So let them do what they want to do. But I'm saying I will not be surprised if attempts is being made to pervert the course of justice, or if the politically inclined DPP is going to say non pros, no action to be taken.
Right, let's wait and see. Somebody's asking the question here, Umi. Let me put it up. Say again, why couldn't CID not investigate the matter? Are they not members of the Guyana Police Force? Yeah, CID is a member of the Guyana Police Force. The problem that we have now, as outlined by this woman. And what she's saying, Ack said that she said the complainant stated that she was shocked and devastated by the incident, and she felt compelled to report them to the authorities. She explained that her initial attempt to file a complaint at Criminal Investigation Department (CID) were unsuccessful, as she was told that they do not take such reports. She noted that she was eventually able to make a report last month at the Kovanjan police station. Now, there is a problem. We talked about it before. Somebody comes to a station to make a report. The report should be entertained. People should not be told about station, district, and all that nonsense. There is what you call in transit report. So you take the report. So if the offense is alleged to have been committed in a district other than the one which is being made, there's a process to forward that report to the particular station. But that's the problem you have. Police don't take the report. Oh, there is some Sparnam. Oh, there is some, you got to go to Kovanjan and such thing. That is what they tell people, which is wrong. It is wrong. Now, so let's wait to see. Again, let me say this without trying to preempt anything. This is where credibility comes in. Because people will agree that the police force lacks, at this stage, credibility. People don't trust the police. By and large, people don't trust the police. And therefore, when matters like these come up, people tend to believe. Some people don't say, well, nothing can happen. People already said nothing ain't gonna happen. You have a minister who's a liar saying that based on what was said, there was no rape. Well, it's clear according to the law. They don't have to have penetration with the penis for it to be rape. The law is clear, and to tell me that I shouldn't be surprised if the minister and know that, because you got a lot of them who are ministers, a lot of them who are liars. They're dunce. To put it quite frankly, and in Guyanese terms and parlance, some of them dunce. So they might very well know. But if you know, keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut if you don't know. Right? So let's wait to see what will happen in this matter. And I hope the Guyana Press Association, who issued this release this morning, will follow up this matter very, very closely. We'll follow it up very closely. And remember, GPA and all others, as we said earlier, we now discovered that the Judicial Service Commission can take action against the Director of Public Prosecutions. So perhaps y'all want to see, I don't know how you initiate this action against the DPP, but a lot has been going on in that office. A lot. Back to the day when the Caribbean Court of Justice had to upbraid her in that Bisram matter. And there have been others as well. Up to recently, case withdrawn without any explanation. Just discontinue. You get the Winston Jordan case. And talking about the Winston Jordan case, I was pleased to see over the weekend that former Minister of Finance Winston Jordan has filed a lawsuit. They say over $1 billion Guyana against the government for what they did to him in that matter. Arrested him. The man is sick. They did all manner. The man had to be hospitalized and all manner of things. And then when the magistrate dismissed the case, because she felt that there was no prima facie case against him, dismissed the case, they went behind his back. The DPP employed a special counsel, so to speak, independent counsel, whatever you call it in Guyana. She employed someone, she retained someone to go and file a matter in front of the High Court for Jordan to be arrested and committed to stand trial. The Chief Justice threw it out and had some very scathing remarks to make. See what I'm saying? There's no evidence in this matter. That's what the Chief Justice said. No evidence in the matter. So, Mr. Jordan, I wish you well, because you know when you file a lawsuit against these people, even when you win the case, they ain't giving you much money. So you got to make the point. It's not about the money. It's about making sure that these people are held accountable and that the law, the court rule on what is the correct thing. So I'm happy to see that. Now let me move on almost out of time. But let me update you in one matter. I can't even get into the accident story. I see somebody calling some figure. I'm not gonna go into that. I know from this morning early, it was confirmed that 2 died. I don't know how many. If well, they saw that other people were seriously injured. I saw the videos. I saw about 5 videos with the matter. So let's pray for those who are injured and hope that they make a speedy recovery and the death toll does not mount in that accident. Now let me update you. We talked last Wednesday. We spoke about this matter where the police claimed they had a roadblock and they stopped this car and the people behave. We saw the tape. People behaving bizarrely, cussing up the police and all of that. We saw that. And the update to that is that they said that 3 persons were charged. They said 3-person charge. They said that Paul Davy charged with disorderly behavior, causing obstruction with a motor vehicle, and 5 counts of abusive behavior. They also reported that Shawayne Diabru and Alpha Pool were charged with disorderly behavior and 5 counts of abusive language. They all pleaded not guilty and were placed on $30,000 and $50,000 bail, respectively. Matter adjourned to the 31st of May. And again, I want to say, let's see what will happen to this case. Let's see. I hope the police who are involved don't suddenly get amnesia, where they can't remember what took place, and they go in the box and they give all sorts of conflicting evidence. Let me see what will happen. Because, only last night I was listening to Basil P. and he played what is their favorite song, Jackie Opel, You Got to Pay. You Got to Pay, That was played last night on Basil P. Program. So let's see where this will go. And let me make this point because I should have said it last week, but it slipped me. With this release, the releases that the police are giving, and with that one, they publish a photograph and they describe the black people who are there as, they say, Paul Davy, male East Indian, and then when they come to the black, they tell you about people, Negroes. They're calling people Negroes. Well, I said that the word is pejorative and other adjectives are insulting, derogatory, demeaning, disparaging, uncomplimentary, contemptuous, and degrading. It's backwardness again. Long ago, a decision was taken that word would not be used to describe Africans, Guyanese, Afro-Guyanese, Negroes. They don't refer to the other races in any derogatory form. And I made a note to say, to me, what made it even more offensive. This is the release of the Police Corporate Communication Unit, headed by Mark Ramatar, a male East Indian. And for he referring to Afro-Guyanese as Negroes makes it even more offensive to me. And one wonders where we are going. People have said to me, people who know, that long ago, since when St. Felix was Commissioner of Police, a decision was taken to drop that word. As I said, it is derogatory. And you should not be describing either male Negro or female Negro as they do. It's something inherited from colonial times. And it is time people call out the Corporate Communication Unit and police for referring to Afro-Guyanese as Negroes. I made a note about it here. I made a note because when I see the thing, and a few weeks ago, they described Afro-Guyanese in a different term. And I think one of the social media influencers complimented them. So it's time they stop it. But to see they gone right back to describing people as male Negro and female Negro and all in those derogatory terms. Let me bring in Mr. Conway for his closing remarks, and then we're going to make a wrap. Mr. Conway, your closing remarks, please.
Yeah, as you rightly said, you don't know if evidence might change when persons go in the witness box in relation to the case where they had with Debbie and others. Because we had previous incidents where a senior superintendent couldn't remember the serial number of a weapon. And also, we had one weapon went into evidence bag, and then when they check it, another weapon emerged. and then the original weapon wasn't there, you know. And I'm in agreement with you, Paul, that we shouldn't use the people call it the N word. N word you're calling in female male negro, female negro. And then let me be presumptuous enough. Why they don't use a word, you know, and they might want to say I'm a racist, but why they don't use a word that is used a coolie? Why you can't say a coolie? My I can't you can't tell me as racist because my grandfather is an Indian and my grandmother is a Negro. So they gotta be careful. And I remember when we said we mustn't use the word male Negro or female Negro. It's been in the system, but they creeping back. It's creeping back. The people say the N word, you know. The N word must not be used. Or if you want to use the N word, use the C word in to describe other people too.
Yes, I agree with you. I agree with you. Thanks for that, my brother. Now, folks, time has caught up with us. There's so many things that I wanted to tell you. I mentioned the accident. Somebody is saying that it came on late and that what if there is an accident. Yes, it is reported that there's an accident at Long Creek on the Lindland Suzaika Highway this morning. I think about 3-4 hours ago. My well, somebody now is saying that the death toll now 5. And he's saying news source. If news source says that the death toll is 5, then that is to be believed. My God, condolences to the relatives of those persons. 5, that is what one of the students is saying, that he got it from news source. That is saying that 5 persons. What they're saying here, let me see again. There's other breaking news. I got it's social media, so they come off this program in the next minute or two. So, folks, you got to stay safe. Yes, they said 2 of the dead persons are teachers. I remember they say one is a popular teacher from Linden. So here we have, again, and as I said in the notification, I wanted to deal with the continued carnage on the road, and you have this now. So, excuse me, definitely Wednesday, God spare life, we're going to go some more into that. And then we have so many incidents, so many reminders of all of these incidents, including the 16.5 million money laundering case, including the allegation against the son of the acting commissioner. He said if I have some illegal firearm. We get the one with the man who shoot up in Pago night. There are many other matters that we want to keep you informed about. But again, time ran out on us this morning. So God spared life. On Wednesday is day after tomorrow. It's not long from now. We are going to be here once again for another episode of Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption, Incompetence. Until then, my comrades, stay well, be safe. As they say, walk in the corner. Even when you walk in the corner, how things are going is no guarantee that you're not going to get involved in an accident. But do all your best to stay safe. And until Wednesday, God's willing, we'll meet again for another episode of Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption, Incompetence. Until then, stay well. Bye.